Hello friends, thank you for joining me once again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you subscribe and stick around. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, welcome back. This is going to be my first wax cutting video. I do not have appropriate tools for this, but I'm tired of waiting. I have ordered a proper wax cutter from Barrett's Waxcraft. I'm super excited to get that. I just need to go out and buy a separate cutting board from, obviously you don't want to cut wax on the same cutting board that you use for food. So this is just like a high grade, what it actually is the back of a picture frame that fell off the wall and smashed while my dad was hanging all of our photos when we first moved into this house. So I thought I could reuse that temporarily, and an old knife out of a butcher's block that, as you can see, it's disgusting. I've cut wax with it before, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to be using today. Also, during this wax cutting video, I will be answering the questions from my video. Just a little backstory, if you missed that video, I reached 100 subscribers and I'm so excited. It's so interesting how it took me 4 or 5 months to hit 100 subscribers, and already in a week I'm already at 125. So it's amazing how once you hit that 100 mark, how quickly your channel grows, and it's crazy to me. It's humbling, and again, I know that there's people with millions and millions and millions of subscribers, but to me, 100 is more than I could have ever asked for. So that's so cool. The same week that I hit 100 subscribers, I also received a random act of kindness from my friends and customers in Regina, Saskatchewan. That video is in the playlist entitled Random Act of Kindness. I'm going to put all of these videos on that playlist eventually. But it inspired me to return the favor. I'm so blessed, and it was just such a nice thing that they did for me, and totally, like, just crazy. Like, they didn't have to do that. Humbling. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to have met these really cool people through this channel. So I decided to give back. I am sending Cindy and Marissa from Regina, Saskatchewan, December Advent calendars. So for every day leading up from December 1st to December 24th, they're going to have a different scent for every day. And I should again remind people that this is not, and I repeat, this is not a Scentsy giveaway. The Advent calendar will have an array of indie vendors as well as mainstream wax companies in there. So again, for compliance sake, this is not a Scentsy giveaway. So because I made 2 Advent calendars and hit 100 subscribers the same week, I'm like, heck, why not give away one more to just a random subscriber? So I asked everyone to leave me a question on that video. I am going to cut some wax that I've been eager to melt. I might even put these in the Advent calendars because I'm missing a couple days still, so you never know. I'm going to answer the questions asked by everyone on that video and cut some wax. So bear with me, I've never set up like this before. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing, and I'll be able to answer some questions at the same time. So the first one that I'm super excited to get into is by a company called Natalies Sweet Scents. This is Tea and Cakes Wax Melts. I received this in my very first multi-vendor D-stash. I've since tried to look up this company and I cannot find her. Perhaps other vendor wax addicts like myself now can help me find her, because this smells fantastic. If you're not familiar with tea and cakes, the best thing that I always reference to when I'm trying to explain it to somebody is like Bath and Body Works Pink Petal Tea Cake. That has the tea and cakes fragrance in it. Essentially what the tea and cake scent notes, and this isn't Pink Petal or a Bath and Body Works dupe, it's just tea and cakes. So tea and cakes is actually orange and almond cake with a sip of steaming black tea. I find it's heavier on the orange and almond cake, which is amazing, but you definitely get the black tea note. I love bakery, but usually I'm a seasonal melter. I think tea and cakes is going to be the solution to my summer cravings for bakery. Oh, goodness, yeah, it's beautiful. And tons of vendors do tea and cakes blends. This is just straight tea and cakes. I love it. But I think that this would be amazing with like jam or berry blends. It's a beautiful, what I would consider a spring and summer bakery scent. But I love it so much that I'm going to melt it all the time. So I want to definitely, actually, we'll cut up both of these rosebuds today. And again, I am by no means a pro at this wax cutting yet, so I'm just going to wing it. So let's get to the questions. The first question I was asked was by my subscriber, Michael. He's actually been asking me this quite frequently. He asked, have you warmed Pretty and Plum yet? And did you get the s'mores note? So Scentsy's brand new release, Pretty and Plum, was released on September 1st in the 2017 Fall and Winter catalog. I was super excited. I loved it in the tester. But then when I received my first bar in August, when consultants had a chance to buy 25 of the new fragrances in advance, I was really not a fan of the bar. And I always find it interesting that the testers and the bars don't always smell the same because it's a substantial quantity more when you get it in the bar, right? So when I smelled the bar, I was like, oh no, this smells like Crayola crayons. This is disgusting. I didn't like it at all. So Michael kept asking me, come on, warm it, give it a chance, give it a chance. And he knows how much I love Scentsy's apple s'mores. And he told me that he says it's the plum version of apple s'mores. So it's like plum s'mores. And I thought to myself, honestly, Michael, I was like, you're crazy. That smells like a box of Crayola crayons and it's gross. But I admit, I filmed an episode of Wax Wars this week featuring Pretty and Plum. And he's right. I absolutely love the fragrance. You're going to have to stay tuned this week for all of the details on how it went for scent scores. But I wouldn't say, I think what he means by it's a plum s'mores instead of apple s'mores is it has this really sweet smoky note to it that is just totally unique. And from everyone I've spoke to about that fragrance, I think Michael and I might be the only people on the planet that like it. Everyone else is really not a fan, whether they've just smelt it on cold or whether they've warmed it. I have not heard good reviews about it, but he was right, and I am so happy that he kept saying, have you warmed it yet? Have you warmed it yet? Because admittedly, I was definitely stalling on that one because I was not a fan on cold. But it goes to show that you never really know, nor should you judge a fragrance on cold. You have to for sure warm it before you should jump to any conclusions. So thank you, Michael. I definitely enjoyed Pretty and Plum. So the next one I'm going to cut up is Me Time Melts Lemon Meringue Pie, Pink Noel, Strawberry Pineapple Parfait. So these indie vendors, I think some of them get a little crazy. So far, I have yet to find a mega blend like this that I absolutely love. And again, people aren't going to like this opinion, but I think when they cram so much stuff into it, the scent, my subscriber friend Megan and I have talked about this before. She warned me that with these complex blends like this, it becomes unidentifiable, or you only get one, maybe two of the scents. It just turns out to be kind of like a big blob. I have warmed Me Time Melts Pumpkin Crunch Cake, and it was just a little teeny tiny sample of it, and I am in love. However, since going back to look for Me Time Melts, I found their Facebook page, but it doesn't look like their store is currently open. So again, I received this in a multi-vendor D-stash. It's really nice. I definitely get all three, lemon, strawberry, and pineapple. I don't know about a meringue pie or pink Noel, but it's beautiful. Like it's definitely an awesome scent. I was gonna save it till summertime, but I thought, hey, why not? Sometimes it's nice to have something fruity around just to break up the heavy bakery scents, or I find I melt a lot of like spicy stuff this time of year. So I think it'll be nice to have something fruity. Try it out, and then I'll likely save the rest of this for summer. And much like our Scentsy wax with vendor wax, as long as you keep it stored properly in a cool, dark place, airtight bags, and the proper bags, they have to either be the, I never say this right, poly bags, or the bakery bags. You know what I'm talking about. Some of the indie vendors sell bags, bakery bags, or just these ones, or there are other websites that you can order these bags in mass quantities, which I'm probably going to end up doing. So again, that was Me Time Melts Lemon Meringue Pie, Pink Noel, Strawberry Pineapple Parfait. But I just smell lemon, strawberry, and pineapple deliciousness. It is really good. Summery, but I'd like to melt it and just give it a try. And save the rest for summer. So the next one I'm going to cut up is Rose Girl's Frosted Blueberry Hill, and I'm a bonehead. I did not look up scent notes for this one. This one I can tell already is going to be a banger, and mostly I smell blueberry, frosting, and something else. I don't know if it's lemon or something. It's definitely an amazing summer blend, but I like blueberry year-round, so I'll probably melt this as well, like as an in-between scent. Sorry, this is loud. Rose Girls is a little bit harder of a wax than the two previous. So the next question was from Heather Green Mitchell. Where did I grow up? This is a tricky question. So I was born and raised in London, Ontario. Lots of people assume when I say London, they're like, oh, London, England? Oh, man. Did my British accent give it away? No, London, Ontario. It's not even like a small little town. It's a relatively big city. It's about an hour and 45 minutes west of Toronto, if that makes it easier for people geographically to figure out where I am. So now I live about 3 hours west of Toronto. But yeah, I was born and raised in London. I am not sure if I've talked about this on my channel before, but I was a teen mom. So I had my oldest daughter when I was 16, which means I grew up fast, but I grew up in a very, I don't even know how you would explain that. I grew up in the sense that I was a child and then I became a parent. So, do I condone teenage pregnancies? Absolutely not. Was it hard? For sure. But I think I missed out on a lot of imperative parts of growing up because I was being a mom. So, I didn't get to, and I'm not saying, oh, poor me, but I missed prom. I missed dating. I missed traveling or freedom. I missed out on a lot of things. And again, I'm not saying, oh, poor me, or that I regret it, but I grew up in the sense that I was a child and I became a mom right away. I really, to be perfectly honest, I don't remember what life was like without kids because I had a child while I was a child. About 4 years ago, I started to travel for work, and work took me to the West Coast and kind of little trips here and there all over the place. I think I grew up a second time about 4 years ago when I started to travel, and traveling for work without my kids. And most people are probably thinking, lots of people do that and they don't consider it a second growing up. But if you think about it, I don't remember what life was like without kids, or the freedom to just get on a plane, land somewhere, and I remember thinking this, like, I could just disappear. And I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, like I was going to run out on my kids, by no means. But I just remember being in a different place, in a different time zone, and just feeling true freedom. That I had no constraints other than work, of course, but I didn't have to rush home from work to pick anybody up, to take somebody to soccer practice, to go to guitar lessons, to go back and pick up from soccer lessons and sit down and fight about homework and cook a meal for 4 people. And I don't know if I'm even making sense, but I grew up a second time at the base of the Canadian Rockies when my work took me to the West Coast. I did a lot of spiritual growing up and emotional growing up. I also find the mountains very healing. There's something about the Rockies where I grew up emotionally, but I also let go of a lot of emotional baggage or anger about my past, whether it was things that had happened to me or things that I brought on to myself. So yeah, maybe that's not the answer you were expecting. Maybe you're just expecting London, Ontario. But to me, I grew up twice and in 2 very different places and very different times in my life. Do I have any regrets about being a young mom? Absolutely not. My children are my greatest accomplishment to date. I absolutely love them, and I wouldn't have done it any differently. Even if I could, I have absolutely no regrets. I absolutely love these kids. And it's kind of cool. It was a struggle in the beginning, but now I find, because I'm only 35 and I have an 18-year-old, I can relate to her in a lot of ways that I don't think some parents can. And I love her. She's my best friend. We're a lot alike. We butt heads a lot, but I feel like I grew up with her. You know, we grew up together. And yeah, I mean, all three of my girls, I love them. No regrets, no regrets, no regrets. So I don't know if that answers your question. I grew up twice in 2 different places. So what's next? Ooh, this one I've been dying to cut up. This is Southbound Soap's Blackberry Lemon Birthday. So the scent notes on here say blackberry jam, lemon zest, vanilla cream blended with birthday cake. Let me tell you, if you watch my Scentsy room tour, I have all of my vendor wax in these little stupid totes that I bought. I'm going to need a lot bigger boxes than that. But I can smell this when it's in the bag and in the tote with the lid on it. I absolutely love Southbound Soap Company. I didn't receive a lot of Southbound's fragrances in the first multi-vendor D-stash, but I have 3 more D-stashes on its way, as well as I did a pre-order for Southbound bags that will be coming in the next 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about that. What's the next question? Deanna asked, what is my favorite scent to melt from Scentsy? That's an interesting one. So my all-time favorite one for 7 years was coconut lemongrass. When I was a customer, absolutely loved it. Then when I became a consultant, I was like, oh, well, okay, I'll experiment a little bit. And I found about, 4 or 5 that I liked. And then I realized when it went from being, a discount to a business, I'm like, wow, I have to seriously start trying more Scentsy fragrances, because what kind of consultant can I be if I've only tried 3 or 4? Like, that's just nonsense. So I'd say my favorite changed from Scentsy's coconut lemongrass to Hendrix, which I'm a diehard patchouli fan. Love me some patchouli, and that is just the perfect fragrance with the tobacco flower. And then recently I discovered Scentsy's apple s'mores, which again typically wouldn't have been my favorite either. I'm definitely surprising myself the more I experiment with home fragrances. So now I'd have to say that apple s'mores and Hendrix are tied, I'd say, for my absolute favorite Scentsy scents. But I'm continuing to try more all the time. I received a Scentsy D-stash, so I'm getting to try a bunch of retired old scents, and I love it. I love experimenting now, and it's really opened my eyes to fragrances that I thought that I would hate. Like, for example, what was that? Lavender and white balsam. Ew! I hate trees and I hate lavender all on its own, but together, that is a phenomenal scent. Again, not something that I would be like, okay, I'm going to buy 6 of those bars, but I don't hate it, and I'm really happy I tried it. So that's been really cool, discovering different home fragrances that I enjoy, right? So, yeah. And you know what? I have no doubt that because Scentsy releases new fragrances all the time, maybe something new in the spring and summer catalog will steal the #1 spot from Hendrix and Apple S'mores. That's the cool thing about Scentsy, is it's always new, always changing, and yeah, I look forward to it. I didn't think this could possibly smell any better. Cutting it up. Oh. Wow, that's amazing. Blackberry jam, lemon zest, and vanilla cream blended with birthday cake. I definitely get the blackberry. The lemon is the top note in this too, but the birthday cake is... I honestly just want to eat this right now. It is fantastic. Maybe I won't eat it. Maybe I will melt it instead. Wow. Southbound Soap Company. I didn't really hear a lot about Southbound Soap Company. And then when I received that, my very first multi-vendor D-stash, you know, I thought the big names like Sassy Girl Aroma and Vintage Chic Scents, and, you know, don't get me wrong, they're good. But I thought, you know, they're of course going to be the best because so many people talk about them. Southbound Soap Company is very underrated. I have no idea why. I think more people should definitely jump on the Southbound bandwagon because it is so good. Also, for the winner of my random act of kindness, if you have never tried vendor wax, I'm just going to give you a heads up. You can warm it in a Scentsy warmer, but it doesn't really throw very well. Vendor wax requires higher wattage warmers. So hopefully you have like a 25 watt mainstays warmer, something like this. This is hot, 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 hot. So that is a mainstays bulb warmer just from Walmart. Or what I find is actually the best is the Glade 13 watt warmer, which is what I warm vendor wax in my office, in my bedroom. And it's 13 watts, but man, oh man, is that thing hot. And of course, if you go out and get a mainstays warmer or a Glade warmer to melt your advent calendar, pretty please and thank you. Use with caution around pets and small children because they are not like Scentsy. They are not very safe. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, so the next one, I've already kind of been into this one. I'm just cutting off chunks here and there, is Vintage Chic Scents, the Elms. I have scent notes for this one. So, pumpkin, rich vanilla marshmallow, birthday cake, and vanilla bean Noel. I love Vintage Chic Scents, pumpkin blends. Oh, it's so good. And so I started warming this in a Scentsy warmer originally, and that's when I figured, especially with the Vintage Chic Scents, like, it's just, on cold it's really light, as well as I couldn't get a very good throw from Vintage Chic Scents in a Scentsy warmer. So I didn't want to waste it. That's when I was like, okay, enough's enough. I'm going out to buy me a cheap, dangerous warmer, and we're going to get some bang and throw off of this stuff. And I am so happy I did. It is like night and day. Scentsy warmers were designed to melt Scentsy wax. With vendor wax, you can use anything as long as it's super hot. I actually have, with my proper cutting tools from Barrett's Wax Crafts, I also ordered a 20 watt warmer. I think Mr. Kong's mom has one from the same company. Like, Barrett's Wax Craft orders these warmers from a different candle melting company and just supplies them to his customers. But it's basically like a hot plate, and it gets up to 20 watts. Hot, 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 hot. And Mr. Kong's mom uses hers to melt her 3-wick Bath & Body Works and Yankee candles. So it's a bad one, like a bad, bad mamma jamma. I cannot wait to get some vendor wax in that one. And super affordable too. Dangerous, but only $18 American is what I paid for that one. Let's go to the next question. Oh, subscriber Bobette Stevens asked, can we play in Texas? Meaning, can they be part of the Random Act of Kindness giveaway if you live in Texas? And of course, I should have mentioned that in the description as soon as I posted the video, but this Random Act of Kindness was open to anyone in North America. Hang on, I'm just going to pause this for 2 seconds. Sorry, so the next fragrance that we're going to do is by a company called Sniff My Tarts. They're fantastic. This is called Celtic Moon Spice. I can't even tell if this is going. Hang on. Yep, it's going. And as you can see me, I'm in my giant baby suit again. When do I not make videos in a onesie? Like every day, all day. So the scent notes for Celtic Moon Spice are just warm spices, cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg. And I find a lot of indie vendors do their own variations of Celtic Moon Spice. Out of all of the Sniff My Tarts, this was probably my favorite out of this first multi-vendor D-stash. And look at how pretty that heart is. I didn't even want to cut it. Oh, but the fragrance is so nice, and I think it's the perfect time of year for Celtic Moon Spice. So let's smash up this ruffly heart. So the next question was from subscriber Malin's mom, and that was, what is the nail color I was wearing in that video? Figure I'm still wearing it and it's chipped and looking terrible. But this is actually Sally Hansen Hard as Nails I picked up at the dollar store, and the color is called Hard Bitten, number 365. Hopefully you can find it at your local buck store, because I love dollar store nail polish. I'm super excited to melt this one. Oh, that is so nice. Not like too spicy either. I find some like clove, nutmeg candles are like gag me spicy. This one is the perfect amount of spice. So much for my adorable ruffly heart. But the couple fragrances I have tried from Sniff My Tarts are amazing. They have fantastic throw, even in a Scentsy warmer. It was really good, the one that I did, or the two that I did try. And they last a really long time. Love that. Really excited to get into that. So the next question, actually it was kind of the same question from two different people. So Amanda Miller and Evelyn Crane asked, why did I join Scentsy, or out of all of the smell good companies out there, why did I pick Scentsy? So I guess this is, well, I was a long-term customer for 7 years. I always purchased the same thing every month. I didn't really have a lot of warmers, but I loved coconut lemongrass. And I tried a couple other scents here and there. I think I bought a brick once, a holiday brick, which was salted caramel cupcake, but I always stuck to my 6 coconut lemongrass all the time. Same scent all the time. This one is Yakety Yak, which was poured in August of this year by Vintage Chic Scents, one of their rosebuds. We're going to cut this up. All this is basically is Vintage Chic Scents version of Juicy Green Apple. It smells amazing. Oh, there's something about the fragrance oils Vintage Chic Scents uses is unlike anything else I've ever smelled. Amazing. So, when was it? I guess it was around the same time the baby was born. So when I was pregnant, I obviously didn't burn candles or even have any fragrance oils in the house. I wouldn't wear perfume. Same thing while I was breastfeeding. Ella breastfed till about 1 year old. So in March of this year, after I couldn't use anything fragrance related for the longest time, I decided to go nuts with Scentsy. I found a local consultant because the consultant I had used years prior to that had moved on to other things. So I found a new consultant and I said, oh my goodness, I need some Scentsy because, I've been without for 18 months. And prior to that, I burned candles. My girls were older, right? It feels like I had kids in 2 different time spans or 2 different lifetimes. So I could burn candles. My older children knew better than to slop around or burn the house down with candles. But then when the baby was born, it's kind of like being a new mom all over again. You have to think about safety and baby breathing in fumes or soot and so on and so forth. So I found this consultant and I said, okay, so I've gone 18 months with no home fragrance and it's killing me. Load me up. So I placed my first order in a long time, and I think because I had gone without for so long, I was like, let's take one of everything and give me a couple warmers, because I know that Scentsy warmers are safe to use around small kids. She's like, okay, perfect. I think my first order was like $420. And this girl's like, well, you qualify for all of these half-price items and this, that, the other thing, and free product credit because you basically are your own party. And I said, great, load me up. Give me some more free stuff. So from there, it kind of snowballed. And then I started having parties for this girl all the time. And I would just take a catalog, and she would actually give me her whole box, full-size testers. And she'd let me carry that around for a couple weeks at a time. And every 2 weeks, I was taking her like $300 order, $500 party, $1,200 party. And after doing this about 5 or 6 times, I had like this, oh my goodness moment. What am I doing? Why am I having 2 parties a month for a consultant and she gets the commission check for it? This is ridiculous. Clearly I can sell this stuff, or I buy enough of it on my own to maintain the PRV, which for any customers who are watching this, Scentsy's requirements to remain active as a consultant are so minimal. So minimal. That's why I always tell people, you don't have to sign up to be a Scentsy consultant to sell it. Just be a personal shopper and get a discount off the products you're buying anyways. Don't get me wrong. I love my customers. If they want to give me their money, have at her. I'll take it. But, I was having these parties all the time, and this woman, and she's a doll face. I love her. She was collecting tons of commission off of me. So I thought, screw this. Why don't I just become a consultant and do it myself? So when I first joined Scentsy, I know I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. I told my upline, I was like, hey, I'm not doing this as a business. I just want a discount. I want to have some parties and I want to get some free stuff. That's it. And ever since then, it kind of snowballed from there. I'm stoked that I picked Scentsy. There are some things that I wish were a little bit different, and I might get around to that in some videos coming up, but for the most part, Scentsy is a great company to work for. I mean, they offer top dollar for commission-based sales. The incentives are unbelievable. The monthly contests that they run, I'm talking outside of the half price and freebies, and it's not even to do anything with PVR. They genuinely care about our health. They run these contests to get consultants active and, you know, set goals for yourself. Recently there was build a fort contest. Like, they're just so engaged with the consultants. And I think that that's important too, because we are an MLM company. We don't all work in the same place. We're never all going to meet each other unless you go to a reunion, but even still, we're not all going to be there. So they run these contests and ways to engage with their consultants and get us to interact with one another, which I think is so cool. Like, Scentsy doesn't have to do that. Even the Scentsy flash sales, I know I've said it before, Scentsy doesn't have to do that either. But they have all of these cool ideas and everything's changing and evolving. It's very fast-paced, which I like as well. So hopefully that answers your question in a really long-winded way. So the next one I am cutting up is from the Purple Fox wax melts. I love the way that this company's, just everything about it, the way their logo, the way they market it, the website, their shapes. They have like these geometric slabs, which are really cool. Get on their website and check these out. They've got all of these gemstone shapes. I absolutely love this. So this is one of their, I think they call this a souffle cup. No, this isn't a souffle cup. Purple Fox company calls this a souffle something. And the price point on this is $6.75 American. And as you can see, it's a whole lot of wax. That's one big tart. And I know it's hard to tell, but that is one of the gems inside this little mini loaf. And my camera is garbage. I probably won't pick it up, but there's like the lightest dust of shimmer on top. Like, it just sparkles. It's so cool. Love it. So this is called Mr. Milkman, and the scent notes are vanilla bean, ice cream, topped with fresh fruit. Smells to die for. Definitely get fruit. Even a little bit of citrus, but the vanilla creaminess is just, oh, to die for. I think melting, it's going to be even better. Oops, I'm knocking everything over. See the gems inside? So cool. Oh, yeah. When you cut it open, oh, it just gets better. So, the next question was from subscriber Linda May. She asked what was my favorite scent out of, I'm guessing, the multi-vendor D-stash, I think. Out of the multi-vendor D-stash, it's really hard. I love Southbound Soap Company, which this isn't it, which was this one. I love everything that I received. So I think I got Blackberry Lemon Birthday, Super Sugar Cookies, Pumpkin Spiced Cider, Southbound Soaps, Milk and Cookies. Like, absolutely everything from Southbound Soap is so genuine. Like, it's just authentic, mouth-watering, amazing, as well as Southbound keeps it simple, which I really like. The fragrance oils, you can tell that they're premium fragrance oils, and they don't try and make these like ridiculous complex blends, which I appreciate. So I like it if you just keep like simple blends, and then if I want to mix them together and make something crazy, great. But I think and I'm not trying to bash any of the other vendors, but some of them get so creative with their blends that you kind of lose the authenticity of the fragrance, and sometimes it's a shame, I find, in my opinion. Look at that. You see that gem? So cool. I didn't receive a lot from the Purple Fox company, just 2 actually. I'm very eager to place an order with the Purple Fox company as well. I find that the Purple Fox is a little bit on the higher end, price point wise, but I think it's worth it. So my favorite fragrance out of the very first multi-vendor D-stash would have to be, ooh, okay, so favorite company so far is definitely Southbound Soaps. Favorite fragrance is Vintage Chic Scents Cookie Monster in Salem. I think I have the scent notes for that one here somewhere too. So Cookie Monster in Salem is sugar cookies, sugar cookie dough, buttercream frosting, sugar milk, pumpkin, cinnamon, sugared donut. Okay, so just when I say these complex blends are da-da-da-da-da-da, the only one that I really like that does ridiculous blends so far has been Vintage Chic Scents. Every scent from, like I said, her Yakety Yak Juicy Green Apple is all that's in this, but it is unlike any apple scent I've ever smelled. Her name is Kirby. She is absolute insane, like just crazy with her blends, and her fragrances are unlike anything I've ever tried. So yeah, if that answers your question. Favorite company, Southbound Soaps for its simplicity. Vintage Chic Scents, Cookie Monster in Salem. It's complex and crazy, but I think Kirby does crazy best, if that makes sense. I hope. I also just did my very first Vintage Chic Scents Hunger Games style order. It was crazy, but I made out like a bandit. I am so excited to get that order. That should be here probably closer to Christmas. This smells phenomenal. I cannot wait to melt this. I think Mr. Milkman should probably go in the advent calendar because it is a super unique scent. Look at that gem. So cute. Perhaps the winner of the advent calendar should get that gem. So yes, that is Mr. Milkman. This was poured in January of 2017, so it has had a ton of cure time. That's a great thing about buying vendor D-stashes, is that as long as somebody else has kept the wax in good condition, it's already cured. So by the time you get it, it smells phenomenal. The cat is seriously clawing at my furniture. Beat it! He's never done that before. Why the heck should he start now? Probably because I'm not paying attention to him, so he's like, I'll wreck your stuff. Okay. So the next question was from a new Scentsy consultant named Carla Brintley. She asked me where I found my Scentsy D-stash. So I met someone from Portland, Oregon, through the various vendor wax D-stashes. Her name is Rhonda. I know I've talked about her before. She's a doll face. She has been so helpful in getting my D-stash up here. She's also, she's great. She's great. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of really cool people on there. If you're new to vendor wax, just reach out to them. If they're selling a D-stash that you think you're interested in, tell them, be upfront with them and say, hey, like I told everyone I'm a vendor virgin. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you'll find some of the ladies are not so nice, but just like anything else, there's bad apples everywhere. But the majority of these women, if you tell them, hey, I'm brand new at this, I'm interested in buying your D-stash, can you walk me through how to do this? Like, I didn't even know how to use PayPal when I first bought my first vendor D-stash. So, you know, just chit chat with somebody and admit that you're new and that you need a little bit of help, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you and walk you through it. But so anyways, that's a ramble. So I didn't belong to any of the Scentsy ISO groups because I thought I don't want to get involved in that, because when you're posting stock, or I was just very wary. So I didn't want to get involved in any ISO Scentsy groups in case I could get in trouble for compliance. I've since done a little bit more research, and as long as you are not an active consultant, you can sell whatever you have on the internet, but you have to be inactive. So if you type in on Facebook Scentsy ISO groups, Scentsy in search of groups will pop up. I have yet to find one that says Scentsy D-stash, but that's essentially what it was. There was a consultant on there who said that she had retired. She was looking to get some of her money back from what she had invested in stock, and yeah, myself and Rhonda chit-chatted back and forth with her, and I've bought actually 3 different Scentsy D-stashes now, and it's great. Like, I had a little bit of a bad experience with one, but it wasn't all terrible. I'd say it was about 75% great, 25% not so great. But I'm happy, and I think I would do it again. I would absolutely buy more retired stuff from retiring consultants, of course, not current consultants. Unless it's in private message, you're more than welcome to do that in private message. But you cannot be an active consultant, basically, and go selling stuff or swapping stuff in a public forum, because that's basically admitting that you have stock in a public place, right? So you're not allowed to do that. Just make sure that you're following compliance. Ask for photos of anything that you buy and talk to them. Like, establish a bit of a trust and a relationship with them. I have no regrets, and I would absolutely buy another D-stash again. I've been able to try so many different retired fragrances that I wouldn't have been able to try otherwise, which is great, because I find that I am better suited to help my customers if I know what the heck they're talking about. And admittedly, that my experience and trying all of these new scents is so recent. So I have customers who have been long-term Scentsy customers for 13 years who know about more retired fragrances or variations of plum, or, you know, they know more than I do. And that's cool too. Like, you can, even being a Scentsy consultant doesn't mean you have to be a pro. I learn something new from my customers all the time. And, you know, I think if you've watched my channel about your why, I think your why has to always be evolving, and you always have to be learning, because things get boring if not. Like, I would get very bored of doing this if I wasn't meeting new people and learning new things and having new experiences with people, sharing my passion for home fragrance with everyone, you know. It's all good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, yeah, go on Facebook. Carla, if you search Scentsy ISO groups, you will find tons of them. Chit-chat in private message. And yeah, I'm sure you will find a retiring consultant who needs to unload her stock, and it'll give you an opportunity to try some older stuff, which would be great. Hang tight, one more second. My apologies, I think I'm getting a cold. Actually, I was just talking to one of my Scentsy sisters, and is this on again? Yep. And she's at home, like, dying of some virus. I was like, knock on wood, I better not get that. So the last one we are cutting up tonight is Sassy Girl Aromas Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow Type. I think the only complaint that I have with my very first multi-vendor D-Stash and Sassy Girl Aroma is I picked, or it came with a lot of pumpkin or a lot of cookie or a lot of latte scents, and I don't know, they all kind of smell very similar so far. And I don't know if that's because I just so happened to get a lot of fragrances that were very similar, or I don't know. I need to branch out a little bit more before I make any comments with Sassy Girl Aroma, because this is one of the biggest indie vendors and people love her stuff. I've placed 2 orders and I have 3 more Sassy Girl D-Stashes on its way. And I've tried now to get various fragrances, from like floral to perfumey to laundry to bakery to, you know, tobacco. You know, I'm trying to get a little bit of everything, because so far everything I have of hers smells the exact same, if not very similar. But I'm not giving up on this vendor yet, because I've heard great things. So the scent notes for Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow Type say, sweetly comforting blend of vanilla, pumpkin, and marshmallow. The oils are super strong and super yummy in this blend. So let's try it. Oh, I do like her pumpkin. And a lot of the times she calls it sweet pumpkin. I don't find this like, you know, this is not Scentsi's pumpkin cinnamon swirl where it's like so sweet it would give you a toothache, you know. Their version of sweet in vendor wax is very different. Wow, that is a lot of wax. I don't know, should I cut the whole loaf? I think I really need a whole loaf. I guess I could put it all in this bag. Be easier. Okay, sorry, bear with me here. So, the last question is from, I'm going to say this wrong. I just know it. Vogelgeist subscriber. So she says that she loves my tattoos and asks me how many I have. So, little backstory to my tattoos. I worked on and off in body modification for 7 years. I am an artist. I paint, I sketch, I draw. I use various different mediums. It's always been a passion of mine since I was young. I considered doing an apprenticeship and becoming a tattoo artist. I have machines, the whole 9 yards. And this is just my opinion, because I worked in the industry on and off for 7 years, various locations in various places. It is still very much a male-dominated industry. So, not to say there aren't phenomenal female tattoo artists. There are. But I wanted, if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it right. And I wanted to do it the traditional old school way of apprenticing. I know that there's millions, thousands upon thousands of tattoo artists who are self-taught and who never go through apprenticeships. But because it's very much a male-dominated industry and very, there is a certain amount of tradition and culture to the tattooing industry. I wanted to do it. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it proper, basically. So I wanted to do my apprenticeship, which would have been 2 years of 18 hours a day unpaid. And, you know, at the time, I was a mom, single mom with 2 kids. It just wasn't something that I could afford. So instead, I never gave up, you know, drawing, sketching, learning how to set up and tear down machines. I've even built a tattoo machine. You know, it's still not off the table, but I started managing and booking artists, as well as worked for a very long time as a studio assistant at a couple different tattoo places, including in Banff, right in the national park, which was amazing. Waking up at the base of the Canadian Rockies every morning, I love it. I love it. I love it. My heart is there. I'm actually planning a trip this summer to take the kids there. So yeah, anyways, back to my tattoos. So once upon a time, I was married to a tyrant of a man. I won't get into too much of that detail, but I wasn't allowed to tattoo my body because he didn't like it. So, you damn Skippy, as soon as I got a fucking divorce, I went out and tattooed my whole body. Excuse my language. Not my whole body, but I did get a rather large piece that starts at the back of my knee and wraps around my body and somewhere up near my armpit. So I thought, yep, let's start with a bad mamma jamma as a happy divorce present to myself. And then I started working in the tattoo industry. So it's kind of like anything else, you know. You get bored if you work at a hair salon. Stylists wind up doing each other's hair, and they have 25,000 different hair colors in 1 year because they get bored at work and just decide to tinker and experiment, right? So henceforth, a lot of my tattoos are tinkering and being bored at work and just experimenting. And I have absolutely no complaints because I have been fortunate enough to be tattooed by some phenomenal, very well-known artists, as well as I have a whole collection of tattoos from some amazing American artists as well, who were either up here traveling, doing guest spots, or I was down there. So yeah, I'm like a traveling collection of tattoos. Yeah, if you join my Facebook, you can see pictures of my tattoos there. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Actually, I think the question was, how many do I have? So when you have so many that they all start blending into one, it just looks like one big blob of a tattoo. I lost count a long time ago. I do have one naked arm and one naked leg, if that answers your question. And not for long, because I do have plenty of tattoos booked, so I won't have much empty space. So yeah, that's it. That is all the wax I'm cutting up this evening. Look at that. How messy it is, but it smells phenomenal. So, now, to the good part. I'm going to move this. I'm making such a mess. I don't want to drop anything because the baby's sleeping. So, I put everyone who asked a question's name in this little container. And I have these advent calendars ready. 2 of them are to return a random act of kindness to my friends and customers from Regina, Saskatchewan, who sent me a random act of kindness. And I'm going to draw a name out of the people who subscribed, liked my video, and asked the question, or a question. And what I ask is that you email me. I'm going to put my email address in the comments below. Please do not post your address publicly. Let's chit chat via email. Give me your address in private message or through email, sorry. And the only other thing that I ask is to let me know not right away, but think about it, of how you can pass on a random act of kindness and how you plan on paying it forward. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you purchase. You don't have to necessarily give something of monetary value or a present. You could just do something sweet for someone, anyone. Could be someone who you know is having a tough time and just deserves it, or a total random stranger. Just, you know, I just don't think that there's enough random act of kindnesses happening in this world and in this day and age, you know. Kindness doesn't cost a thing. You should sprinkle that shit everywhere. So, mixing it up. Who's it going to be? The winner is Amanda Miller. Amanda, please and thank you. Email me down below. To everyone else who asked questions and hung out for this wax cutting video and has subscribed to my channel and given me their congratulations and support and hung out with me for all of these crazy videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to bringing you tons more videos. I love doing this giveaway. Again, it's not a Scentsy giveaway, but I look forward to doing this again. I had so much fun. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, smash the bell above for future content notifications, and I look forward to bringing you more videos daily. Bye for now.